So Chris Paul was recently asked how he can help the Golden State Warriors this season after coming to San Francisco in that trade that included Jordan Poole. His answer, very, very simple. I can help us win games. But CP3, I'm telling you that your best opportunity to help the Golden State Warriors is to come off the bench. And as of right now, not sure CP3 is happy with doing that. We're going to talk about that on the show. Another Jonathan Kuminga trade idea out on the internet streets. And could the Dubs trade for a center who's one of the best bigs in the NBA and fulfills a massive need for Golden State? So you go back to what Chris Paul had to say about his role with the Warriors this year to help us win games. I think he's going to be able to do that. He's a smart, decisive point guard who's really savvy, high basketball IQ, not an awful defender at this point. He can still score at all three levels and live in that mid-range. I think his passing ability is going to unlock a different dimension for this Warriors offense. But all of that being said, I think for CP3 to be successful and for him to help out the Golden State Warriors in the biggest way that he can, it's to come off the bench. Don't fight Steve Kerr on wanting to be in that starting lineup, because him being in that starting five, I don't believe helps the Warriors become a better team, especially with that starting unit. Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, you don't have a big Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green. You're thinking about that being your starting five. What happens at center when last year their lack of size was a huge problem? Now, with CP3, the numbers are never the downside for him. It's injuries. It's him not showing up in some playoff games. Sometimes I think his pace with how he likes to operate and maneuver the offense, it gets a little bit slow. And this upcoming season for the Warriors, I still expect CP3 to be a productive player. He takes really good care of his body. Late in his career, he's gone vegan. He said that that's really helped him with his longevity. The key factor, I believe, with Chris Paul is unlocking Jonathan Kuminga. And CP3 and Jonathan Kuminga with that second unit, I do believe can cause a lot of problems for opposing teams. And again, it's CP3 coming in off the bench, which serves the best role for him and for the team in 2023-2024. Here's what Jonathan Kuminga did say about the acquisition of Chris Paul and how CP3 might be able to elevate his game. I'm just looking forward to seeing how it's going to work, and I feel like CP is a smart player. He has a lot of experience, and I feel like he's going to bring so much that we didn't have on the team, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think what Jonathan Kuminga is talking about here is the overall impact that Chris Paul can have. And he's not going to take bad shots like Jordan Poole. And because of that, I think the offense might be a little bit more efficient. He's not going to turn the basketball over either, which led to easy opportunities for the other team to score. And we know that this Warriors team was not a good defensive unit last year, and it was impacted by some of those bad decisions by Jordan Poole. I'm not putting the blame on him. I'm just saying that it did lead to some easy point opportunities for the other squad. So what role will CP3 take on? Is he going to start? Then type S. If you think he's going to be the sixth man, which I believe is better, then give me a 6 down below in the comment section. As for the latest on Jonathan Kuminga, look, I don't believe that the Warriors are going to trade Kuminga. I've said all throughout this offseason, I would not trade Jonathan Kuminga. I think he's really valuable to what this Warriors team wants to do, but another trade idea is out there. It's at the end of July, and we're going to talk about it, right? Before we do that, Warriors jerseys are on sale thanks to our friends at Fanatics. All you have to do to get any of these jerseys here, and there are a lot of other players and different styles that you can also get, is just use that link down below. It's chatsports.com/Warriors jersey. We'll put that link in the comment section and in the description of this video, because rocking a basketball jersey in the summer, it's always a swaggy move. So here is that trade. The Warriors would receive Cody Martin and a 2026 first-round pick, and the Hornets would receive Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know what some people are thinking when they put together some of these trade ideas, because this doesn't make any sense at all. This would mean that the Warriors completely give up on Jonathan Kuminga. They get a lesser player back in Cody Martin, who's not the player that his brother Caleb is. And they get that 2026 first-round pick back. That's cool, but it's not for another couple of years. And Jonathan Kuminga was the 7th overall pick 2 years ago. So why would you give him up for a future pick and the lesser player in Cody Martin? That would say they don't believe in Kuminga. And I do believe that they believe in Jonathan Kuminga and the player that he can become. what I've seen from Kuminga this offseason, I've never been the one to hop on board the Ben Simmons hype train when he's taking jump shots, but then never takes those in the actual game. I've never been a guy who's like, wow, that guy's tearing it up in the gym. And I think that that's going to translate to the NBA level, and the competition most likely is subpar, or guys just aren't trying. But I'm talking about the growth of his game with Kuminga, which is what I've seen. The better handle, the better shot, more confident in some of the shots that he's taking and making. That's what I'm discussing here. And no shot that you make this trade, because I think that Kuminga can be a really good player in this league, whereas Martin is more of a journeyman. And again, Caleb Martin, his brother, who they teamed up with, by the way, at Nevada, for Eric Musselman, had some good NCAA tournament moments. He's not the player that Caleb is. Caleb is the much better player for the better organization in the Miami Heat. And Jonathan Kuminga, I think, has the potential to be better than both of the Martin twins. Kuminga is also years younger, and that's what a lot of people lose sight of here. Jonathan Kuminga is a really young player. He was drafted as a teenager, and in the first 2 years, we've seen this potential that he has. We've seen some of these moments where we're like, my gosh, JK, he can really get up. He can defend at a really high level. His three-point shot's been a little bit better than anticipated. And the offensive game, it's coming along. The Warriors as an organization have done a good job of developing players, and Kuminga perhaps could be next. So pick a player. You going Kuminga or Martin? Which one would you rather have on Golden State? Remember, it's not Caleb Martin. It's Cody Martin. And as you venture down to the comment section, make sure you subscribe to the show. When the Warriors make a move, we discuss it. When there's a fun story to talk about, we're going to break it down. We do it all here on Warriors Today, year-round coverage of the Dubs. Just hit that sub button as we approach 60,000 subscribers. Let's round out the show with this. Could Golden State trade for a big? Now, I do like what the Indiana Pacers have been able to do throughout this offseason, but this trade idea has been floated out there that would send a star big to Golden State by the name of Myles Turner. Now, we've done some shows on Myles Turner in the past because there has been some loose interest on the Warriors' end in trying to acquire him, a guy who's led the NBA in blocks, good defender, can hit that corner three. And it's pretty interesting because the Warriors would get Myles Turner. They would have to trade away Andrew Wiggins and a 2026 first-round pick. Myles Turner would be able to help you in a lot of areas. And I'm still waiting to see what this Warriors collective unit can do with a really solid big who can shoot, but is also a preeminent defender in this league. That's exactly what Turner is. And he's coming off the best year of his career, where the points per game took a dramatic leap forward from almost 13 points per game to 18 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, more than 2 blocks. He led the NBA in blocks in consecutive years, and 37% from three. He realized that he needed to make some improvements to his craft, to his game, to his arsenal. Myles Turner's been able to do that, credit to him. But because he's coming off that year in which he averaged 18, 7.5, 2 blocks, and 37% from three, that's why the asking price would be a lot. This would open up a lot of possibilities and a lot of opportunities for the Warriors because he can stretch the floor. He can knock down that three, but he can be a great rim protector for this team, an area that they really lacked. And when they go up against a team like the Los Angeles Lakers, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, they're going to have to think a little bit if Myles Turner is protecting the rim, and that's why I would think about making this trade if you believe in Jonathan Kuminga, because this is what the Warriors' potential starting lineup would be. You trade away Wiggins, then you have Kuminga take that spot, who does some similar things to Wiggins. Wiggins, the better offensive player at this point with the more consistent three, but Kuminga, again, some of the same things. You still have Steph and Clay anchoring your backcourt. The Draymond-Myles Turner 1-2 punch, I think, could be good in that front court. And then you also have this as well. If you want to take Kuminga out of the starting lineup, you add Chris Paul, who still wants to start with Steph Curry. You have dual ball handlers there. Good shooter and wing in Klay Thompson, who's capable there. Why I haven't liked the idea of Chris Paul starting before is because you would have to have Draymond at the 5. With this trade, you actually don't need to have Draymond at the 5. He still plays at the better position that suits him best, which is at the 4 spot, but you still have Myles Turner on that low block. So I actually kind of like this because Steph and Chris Paul can both complement each other. They can both bring the ball up. They can both handle it, initiate the offense, pressure the rim, but they can play on the outside as well. And Steph Curry can just do his thing and continue to be an elite player in this league. Look, I think that this Warriors lineup, and I think that this Warriors team heading into 2023, 2024 is pretty well off. I like the roster construction here, but a Myles Turner trade would be fascinating for so many reasons. This is a guy who's shown that he can be one of the better defenders in the game at that center spot. He's led the NBA in blocks a couple of times. He's a great rebounder, which allows the Warriors to get out in transition, out in space, to get some easy buckets on the other end. Most importantly, though, his offensive impact could be as a roll man and a guy who could throw down some dunks on the alley-oop, but a floor spacer as well, because last year with Indiana, averaged 18 points per game, 37% from three. If you have to trade away Andrew Wiggins in order to get Myles Turner, I would certainly think about that. So what would you do, Dub Nation? You make the call here. Have some fun with it down in the comment section here, because the show is a lot of fun. T for trade or P for pass. Another reminder, subscribe to the show. We are less than 800 people away from 60,000 subscribers. Let's continue to grow the Dub Nation following here at Chat Sports, and we'll catch you next time here on the program.